Hey, this is Deepak here from digitaldeepak.com and welcome to the first bonus week of your internship program. In this week, we are going to learn about personal branding and we are going to go deep into the concepts of personal branding. This is one of the most important videos that I am creating for this internship program. And if you follow all the methods and advice given in this particular training module, success is not very far away. So let's get started. What are we going to learn today? We are going to have a look at the fundamentals of a personal brand, the power of communities for personal branding, your community platform and social media channels, building your character by design for the world around you, recommended books for building your character, communicating with your tribe, building your perception for the world as an expert. Then we are going to have a look at content ideas to share with your community. Then we are going to have a look at becoming an alpha in your tribe and community and what it means to be an alpha. Then we will have a look at the benefits of personal branding in different fields such as freelancing, mentoring, jobs, and startups. So with that note, let's get started with today's training module. First, let's have a look at the fundamentals of building a strong personal brand. Personal branding starts with your personal life. You already have a personal brand among your friends and relatives, but you do not have total control over it. When you were born, you were not born with a name. You were either born as a male child or as a female child, and then your parents gave a name to you. And when you look at it, the name is also a personal brand. That is how your family, relatives, friends, everybody looks at you. You have a perception, and this is what we call as ego. This is the image that you have created for yourself, and this is the image that others see you. Who you are inside might be a little bit different, and what you show to the world might be a little bit different. So, what you are doing is that you are building a personal brand among your friends and relatives, but you do not have total control over it. And building a personal brand for the online world and for the bigger world is not very different. Personal branding is the process of building an ego by design. You decide how people want to perceive you. For example, have a look at my own personal brand. The personal brand that you are aware of is Digital Deepak. And based on the emails I send, based on the videos I do, based on the photos that I post on my social media channels, you have a certain perception of me. And this certain perception is very well curated because this is how I want the world to look at me. And that is something that you can do as well. And there is nothing wrong in it because you will have a personal life which is different. You don't want to show it to the outside world. And then you will have a ego or you will have a image that you are showing it to the outside world. And you have to build this particular image with intention. And that's what we are going to have a look at in this particular video. I'm going to give you different tools, techniques, and mindsets so that you can build your personal brand with intention. When you start building your personal brand with a clear intention, you will become a better person yourself as well. It will reflect in your personal life too. For example, if you want to create a personal brand that you are a very punctual person, you might actually become a punctual person. And we talked about becoming your 2.0 version in week 1 of this internship program. And you might remember that we talked about letting go of your previous self and creating a new self. And when you are trying to build this personal brand and when you are trying to create a new self to appear in a particular way to the outside world, you will actually become like that. And that is a wonderful way to become a 2.0 version of yourself. A personal brand driven business is 10x easier to run than a business with no face behind it. When you look at a lot of startups and a lot of companies, they do not have a human behind it, or at least you cannot see that human very clearly. Many times it is actually run by humans, obviously, but when you think about certain brands, the person behind that brand is not immediately obvious. When you look at my brand, Digital Deepak, or the education company that I am creating, which is Learn Today, the fact that Digital Deepak is the one running it is very obvious. And when you have a personal brand, it becomes way easier to run the business and grow the business, because the biggest challenge that businesses have when it comes to selling their products and services is to build that trust with the consumers and the audience. And it is very difficult to build that trust for a brand over the long term without having a personal brand. Eventually, the brand itself will have some trust. For example, I can go ahead and trust Apple computers to have all my computing needs met. And the brand's trust has been built over the years. But when you are starting a business, when it is a startup, the logo or the brand that you have created is not familiar to the outside world. And the kind of branding that you do for yourself will be much more stronger and much easier to penetrate into the crowd than a logo brand. A lot of people ask me, Deepak, when we try to build a personal brand driven business, will the business ever grow beyond the personal brand? And will investors be interested in investing in a company which is only driven by a personal brand? Definitely not. But you can always think about transferring the trust that you have in your personal brand to your company brand. For example, right now you trust me, that's why you signed up for my program, but you will also start trusting my company. And tomorrow you might recommend my company to other people, and through that, more people will start trusting my company. And it is the same case when you look at Apple, Tesla, and a lot of big companies. Apple's branding was initially driven by Steve Jobs, and people trusted him. People trusted his vision. Investors trusted him. And eventually, now Apple is such a big brand that even if Steve Jobs is not around anymore, people still trust Apple. And the culture and the character of Steve Jobs has been given to Apple. So it continues today. And when you look at Tesla Motors, Tesla has a brand of its own, but that brand was borrowed from Elon Musk. So Elon Musk basically built Tesla's brand by building his personal brand. He constantly gives interviews in the media, and people have a certain perception of him that he is a person that wants to make the world go completely electric and wants to reduce the pollution, wants to make the earth a greener place. And when people buy into such visions, they trust the personal brand more and eventually the brand that they have built. And that is the power of personal branding in business. Trust is a scarce commodity in today's world, but you can cultivate it with your personal brand. People trust people, people do not trust logos. And when you are trying to build a personal brand, the change starts from within. There is no shortcut to it. You have to change as a person and become a 2.0 version of yourself. Do not try to motivate your tribe, inspire them. And I keep talking about life coaches, right? There is no such real job such as a life coach. If there is a life coach for me in my life, it is the people that I am inspired by. For example, I would read about Elon Musk and get inspired. I would get inspired by my mentor. And I would just follow their footsteps on what they have done in their life. And they don't need to call themselves life coach, but they are the best life coaches because they inspire by doing, not by talking. And when you look at a lot of quote unquote life coaches, they just keep talking. But what have they done in their life? Not much. So I feel that if you want to become a strong personal brand, you cannot just talk about it, right? You have to motivate your tribe by showing what you do and by inspiring them. And that is one of the reasons that I have been able to survive in a very, very competitive digital marketing training industry, because I have actually done digital marketing and I keep doing digital marketing. I do consulting, I do freelancing, I run an agency where I have clients for whom I do digital marketing. I have worked in different organizations as a digital marketer. And because I do certain things and I get results, people look at it and get inspired by it. And that's when they want to follow me. There are a lot of digital marketing trainers who have not actually accomplished anything, and they keep talking about digital marketing on social media. They try to get followers, but they don't get much traction because people are not generally fooled just by the words. People always look at the actions that you have done. And personal branding is a very long journey, right? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years back, and the next best time is today. And similarly, when you talk about personal branding, the best time to start building a personal brand was 5 years back, and the next best time is today. It takes time because you have to do things and you cannot fake it. But it is one of the best investments you will ever make for your career and your business. I have been building my personal brand since 2013. That is when I registered digitaldeepak.com. And as of making this video, it's almost 7 8 years long. And one of the advantages of building a personal brand is also that it cannot be replicated or copied immediately by other people, right? It takes time for the compounded results to start coming, and it cannot be easily done by others because everybody has to wait that long to build a personal brand. And as I said, be a life coach without being a life coach. You have to align your thoughts, words, actions, and results. You have to become an authentic brand. You cannot think one thing, say one thing, do something, and get some results, right? You have to kind of stay true to your words and thoughts, and it should show in your actions and results. And that is why I feel that in the process of building a personal brand, you will actually become a better person because that is the image that you want to build, and you eventually end up becoming that image. People do not buy logos and brand names, they buy into a vision and a dream. It takes a long time for a logo to gain a character, as we already discussed. Until then, it has to be built by a person, and as we discussed, we have examples like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos. If you just have a landing page and a lot of traffic, you will not be able to make revenue. People will buy something only if they trust the person. And you have to be the strong personal brand which is communicating with people. Having a landing page with a particular sales copy doesn't guarantee sales. Even if you go ahead and copy it from a person who is getting very good sales, if you do not have that personal brand and if people do not trust you, they are not going to buy from the landing page. Traffic and relationships with people are two different things. Traffic is a commodity and relationship is intangible and priceless. And just imagine, how did you trust me and join this internship program? That is because of the personal brand that I have built in the market and in your mind, right? And the relationship that I have with you is intangible. It cannot be measured. I cannot put a value in it. But because of the relationship I have with you, you go ahead and invest in my training programs. You listen to what I talk about. We have already been in this internship program for several weeks, and now you are still paying attention to what I say because you probably gain a lot of value from this training program, and you also trust me that Deepak is going to give an advice that will change my life. Even if you go ahead and create courses, if you do not have a personal brand, the content in the course is not going to be very useful for your students if your students do not believe in you. Imagine if this same content was created by someone else. You would not trust that content. Imagine that the exact same video is available on YouTube somewhere and there is a different name behind it and he has given it away for free. You are not going to pay any attention to it. That's because the content is not just a content, right? It is a content made by a particular person who you look up to, who you want to learn from, and that personal branding takes time, it takes patience, it takes a clear plan to achieve. And that's also an unfair advantage that you will have against your competition because it's not like the competition can come, create a better product, and immediately steal your customers. Even if they have a better product at a cheaper price, the brand that you have built over time will have a tremendous value and people will continue buying things from you. A good relationship with your audience and tribe comes from having a strong personal brand, as I said. You are the leader of your tribe, and then the tribe takes a momentum of its own. You have to think long term. Every customer is a relationship for life, it's not a transaction alone. You are in the business of adding value to people's lives, not just to make money for yourself. I conduct my business in a way that my business has a very, very long term approach. For example, if you have gone ahead and enrolled in this internship program, my relationship with you does not stop here. It actually starts here. And every time you sell something to your customer, it is an opportunity to provide a good product and service, and it is an opportunity to build a stronger relationship with your customers. Think about the funnel. You might have come across a blog post of mine or a YouTube video of mine or an ad of mine in the beginning. And then you probably subscribed to my email list, then started receiving my emails. Then maybe you attended a webinar of mine for free. And when you look at this entire journey, you are building a relationship with me, but the relationship is not strong enough initially. You are just suspecting that I might be a good person to follow, but you have not decided to invest in my training programs. But eventually, let's say you buy a 500 rupee book and then you probably enroll in the internship program. And maybe in the future, you go ahead and purchase advanced products like Digital Marketing Club and advanced internship programs. I am taking you from a very, very simple relationship where you are just reading my content or watching my video to getting you to buy something from me, and then eventually to a stage where you are investing almost 3 to 4 months of your time in a training program, hours and hours of time in listening to my training programs, attending my webinars. The relationship keeps getting stronger and stronger. And as the relationship keeps getting stronger, the more trust you build in me, as long as I provide high quality products and services and I delight you with the service, and if I exceed the expectations, the stronger relationship actually becomes an asset. And that becomes the biggest asset of a business. The business might not put this asset in a balance sheet, but this asset is intangible. But this asset is going to be priceless and probably the best asset you will ever have in your business. Businesses have different assets like domain names, computers, office buildings, and things like that. But in my opinion, the biggest asset is the relationship that you have with your existing customers. Build a magnetic and authentic character in this process. Put all the chips in, have no plan B. If you approach your business as if it is going to be something like a side project for you, then people will know about it and people will not respect you that much. However, if you treat the business in such a way that that is the only thing that you are doing and you are completely focused on it and you don't have any plan B, then people will know. And that is how I conduct my business. I do not have any side business. I do not have any secondary gig going on to make me money. I have invested all my time, all my future, all my savings into a single business, which is digital marketing training, and eventually go ahead and build SaaS products for digital marketers. And when people see that, people will trust you more. And that is how you build an authentic brand. Think about Elon Musk. He got $100 million dollars from the sale of PayPal. And he invested all his $100 million dollars into SpaceX. And when a person goes all in, trying to achieve something in his business or trying to achieve a larger vision, others can see it. Investors probably saw it, his team saw it, that Elon Musk has taken such a big risk where he did not even keep $10 million dollars or $50 million dollars for himself. He actually went ahead and invested all the $100 million dollars into a single company. And that kind of no plan B approach actually helps. And that is how you should be with whatever mission that you are choosing in your life. And in week 3, we talked about niche selection. So select a niche, create a purpose for yourself, and put everything in it. And your personal branding journey will become effortless. Now let's talk about the importance of tribes in personal branding. You cannot build a personal brand without having a tribe around you that amplifies the message and creates a perception to the outside world. See, you probably noticed Digital Deepak online because I had a certain level of traction. I had people commenting on my posts, I had a good number of Twitter followers, good number of people attending my webinars. There were positive reviews outside there in the web about the brand Digital Deepak. All this personal branding is happening because of a social proof, and that is why creating a tribe around your personal brand is part of building your personal brand. And you need to be the leader of your cult, and you need bucks. And when I say bucks, these are people who are like blind followers. And you don't create blind followers by saying something manipulative or taking them in the wrong direction. But you can create very, very strong followers who will go ahead and support you in your online journey by adding a lot of value to their lives. Like, for example, I have a very strong community of interns. and I have added a lot of value to my interns' lives and to you as well, that even if there is someone who is saying something negative about my brand, these people will go ahead and help me, and these people will go ahead and say positive things about me and say that no, Deepak's programs are good, what you are saying is wrong, and I hope that you will also do it for me. So this happens when you add a lot of value to people's lives. I know there are brands, personal brands, who have followers, and these personal brands have followers based on a belief system, and they don't even add value to these people's lives. They just have a very weird belief system, and then they have a bunch of followers. We don't need to build that kind of followers. We can build followers who love us, and we can build followers by adding value to people's lives. Your closest and best tribe members will come from the most premium product that you have to sell. For example, a mastermind training group of 100 people, they will get the best results as well. For example, if you join my Digital Marketing Club Platinum membership, I do a Q&A call with just a small set of 100 people, usually business owners, every week. And these business owners actually get the maximum value from me, and they become my best tribe members because they are paying a premium to join my program. And the barrier of entry, even though it is high, it is not high for these mastermind people because they have already got so much value from me, and they are so confident that they will get even more value from the mastermind group. You need to go ahead and create products that are at a particular price level, and you need to also go ahead and create a community itself as a product if you want to have that strong set of really close people who you get the maximum results for, and these are the people who will give you the best testimonials as well. Your next level of members will come from the customers of your products. If people have bought your product, then they will probably have a better relationship with you than the people who just follow you. Then the people who just follow your content are also there in your community, but they are not going to go out of their way to recommend you to other people because even they have not bought a product from you yet. Then you have the people who have heard of you, but they have not subscribed to you. Your core level of cult members will convince your second circle of people to become part of your primary circle, and the brand radiates outward like that. A huge personal brand like celebrities do not usually have strong tribes. Their personal brand is brittle and shallow, and it usually collapses. And this is actually true when it comes to Hollywood and Bollywood. When you look at a Bollywood celebrity, these people are glamorous, they have a glamorous lifestyle, they are frequently in the media, they have a lot of followers, but these people have just entertained their audience. They have not added immense level of value to their lives. Like for example, when you look at my training programs, people's lives have changed because of my training programs. People learned a new skill, people learned how to make money, and because of their financial position, their circumstances have changed. When you look at Bollywood celebrities, I don't think there is any celebrity who has impacted someone's life in such a deep way. And when you look at Bollywood celebrities, the following they have is more of an envy than respect. And a lot of people secretly envy these Bollywood celebrities for the kind of lifestyle they show on the media. And it is also brittle. It collapses frequently. Especially when you see that a particular Bollywood actor or actress gets into some controversy, people actually celebrate it. They start trending on Twitter, they start getting a lot of hate, and that's because people envy these personal brands, and they are not following these personal brands because these personal brands are adding value to their lives. They are just following them because they are curious. And when we talk about personal branding, we are not talking about personal branding like the kind of personal brand that celebrities develop, and movie celebrities and sports stars develop. Even sports stars are on some level respectable because they have like an extreme skill, and some of these sports stars have like godlike skill. Like for example, when you look at Sachin Tendulkar, you just respect him for mastering the game so much. And I don't think people will actually take him down if he gets involved in some controversy. People actually respect him. So, in this particular training module, when I talk about personal branding, Do not think that I am asking you to build a personal brand like celebrities. And a lot of people have a little bit of a resistance towards building a personal brand because they have seen personal brands like celebrities and politicians and other people in the media. And we have always felt something is not right with such kind of attention that these personal brands get in the media. So there might be a slight amount of resistance inside you to build a personal brand, but the kind of personal brand that I am asking you to build is completely a different type of personal brand. You are not generating envy. With your personal brand, you are actually creating value for people. And that is why when you look at well known CEOs, these well known CEOs are usually very respected because they add a lot of value to people's lives. So you can think about building such a personal brand. And whatever I have explained in this particular slide, let's have a visual representation of it. So this is how your personal brand radiates. You are in the center, and then you have a mastermind group around you. And when you are just getting started, you might not have a mastermind group, and you can try to have maybe a few people instead of 100 people. And all the numbers that I have given is just for representation purposes, just to give you an idea. It need not be the same for your niche, and even for me the numbers might differ, but you get the idea, right? So let's assume that there are 100 people in your mastermind group, and you are at the center, and you are adding tremendous value to the people in your mastermind group by giving them advice, guidance, and all those things. And then you have your next circle, which is customers who have actually bought something from you. It could be a book, it could be a course or a training product. And then you have your followers, your social media followers, your subscribers, and that could be like 100,000 people. But these followers are not yet your customers, and they will get convinced to become your customers looking at the existing customers. When existing customers give good reviews for your products, the followers will see that. When mastermind group members give a raving review about your mastermind product, your customers will convert into mastermind, your followers will convert into customers, and eventually you will radiate outward, try to attract more and more people into your circle. And you will have another layer of people around your followers who have heard about you. Like, for example, I have people who have heard about the brand Digital Deepak, but they have not subscribed to me, they are not following me on social media, but they have heard it from someone. And if they see an ad, they will be like, oh, Digital Deepak, I have heard about this guy. And then you have another circle who has no idea of who you are. And this particular circle is like the entire world, right? And even very, very famous people are not necessarily known by everyone. Like, for example, I am pretty sure that there are millions or even billions of people in the world who do not know who Elon Musk is. It could be a peasant in China, or it could be an old man in Japan. He just doesn't care. So there will always be a set of people who have no idea of who you are. But if you are trying to build a mega personal brand, you should eventually try to get as many people to know you as possible and get them to hear about you. They will become your followers, then your customers, then they will come into your mastermind community or your close circle, and then there is you in the center. So this is how you build a personal brand, and you cannot expect to go from the center to the outer radius where everybody just knows about you, right? Nobody cares about you. Why would they care about you unless they think that you are providing some value for them? And you are providing value to your mastermind people, customers, and followers. And that is why people around the followers and people who have no idea who you are will eventually come to you, because your followers are saying that, hey, this particular personal brand is something worth following. Like, for example, if you have a YouTube video or a blog post, this might be shared across WhatsApp groups and social media, and there might be someone who has never heard of you, and he will come across your content, and then he eventually becomes the follower, and then a customer, and then a premium customer. So this is how you have to build your personal branding funnel, and this is your personal branding master plan. You have to remember that every rupee you are ever going to make is only going to come from a customer. And you have to convert your followers and people who have heard about you into paying customers so that you can make revenue, and you can reinvest the profits into expanding your personal brand further. And when you look at my personal brand, I have not gone ahead and created a social media influencer type of following. Many people do that, but I'm not focused on that. I'm not just posting content on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube and trying to make money from advertising or sponsorships. I realized that to grow my personal brand, I need a product to sell, and ideally, it should be a training product or a digital product so that the margins are higher. And once I start making profits, I can start reinvesting this money back into growing my personal brand, and that is why I can afford to run paid ads. When you look at YouTubers, even with a million followers, they don't make much money with display advertising, and they cannot reinvest that money that they earn back into further advertising and expanding their brand, because if a YouTuber makes 1 lakh and he puts that 1 lakh into ads, he's not going to get that 1 lakh back from YouTube ads. It doesn't work like that. But here I am building a funnel. I am having a product which I can sell to my customers. And that is why if you are going ahead and trying to expand your personal brand, you need to have a funnel and you need to have different levels of products all the way to a premium product like a mastermind program. And ideally, if you start with training in your niche, then you can go ahead and even sell physical products in your niche. For example, if somebody is there in the fitness niche and if they are selling supplements, they could go ahead and build a funnel where they talk about fitness in blogs and YouTube videos. They can have a newsletter related to fitness, and then they can go ahead and have a course or a book related to fitness. They can reinvest the profits from the sales of these digital products back into expanding their personal brand. And then they can also go ahead and sell their supplements, which is the core thing that they want to sell and make profits from. A lot of people do not realize that you need a funnel like this with digital products to make you profits, to expand your personal brand and sell whatever you want to sell. At the same time, I would agree that it cannot be applied in all the contexts. Like, for example, Elon Musk does not have a course on driving to try to expand his personal brand. But he's Elon Musk, obviously, and he has huge amounts of money to invest. And when you look at Apple, we don't see any products that are just there to fund the funnel and expand the personal brand. But for most of us, creating a funnel like this becomes the easiest way to grow our personal brand. See, I can keep selling my information products, I can keep taking the profits, and I can keep running ads where I get thousands of leads every day. And that's how I build my personal brand. And since the margins on training products and courses are high, I'm able to go ahead and invest most of the revenue back into ads. And that is why I'm even able to afford to run a program like this where I'm giving cashbacks, because I've already got the leads for free and I have funded the leads with my courses which I have sold before. Your tribe is the biggest asset you will ever build. When you make money, a lot of people wonder on how to save and invest the money. A lot of people make money from their job, a lot of people make money from their business. They take out that money and then they put it somewhere else, like stock market or real estate, and expect returns and growth on that particular asset. But in your business, your tribe itself becomes the asset, because as long as you have your tribe active and engaged, you can come up with a product and sell it to your tribe, and you can expand your brand that way. So that is what I am doing. I am treating the community, the email list, and the following I have as my biggest asset. And whatever profits I am making, I am constantly reinvesting into expanding my personal brand. And I put people on an engagement sequence through automation so that my personal brand kind of becomes very familiar to them on automation without me having to do something every day. You need to be the magnet that converts strangers into followers, followers into customers, and your customers into raving fans. And your raving fans will eventually convert these followers into customers and customers into raving fans. It's a cycle. You cannot ignore your tribe, the people around you, and the people that you are adding value to is going to be the most important asset. And if you ignore them, then your personal brand will not be there for long. If you do ignore them, you will gain social media followers, but not a personal brand. This is something that I have seen. When I have consulted other personal brands and asked them to launch a course, the course sales was not much. And that was because they had something like 100,000 Twitter followers, but they did not build a value funnel where they could add value to the community. And because of this huge personal brand on social media, they had something like a Bollywood celebrity type of following where people were just following them to see what they are up to, but they were not necessarily trusting these personal brands. And such social media followers are not of very good value if they are just following you and it does not convert into money much. So I did a project with a personal brand who had more than 100,000 followers on Twitter and millions of followers on LinkedIn. And we created a course for them and we expected 10 crores in sales with the kind of following they had. But we made only 1 crore in sales because the personal brand that they had built was not very strong in terms of having added value to people's lives. 1000 members in your inner circle is much more powerful than having 10,000 followers on social media. All these numbers like 1 million Instagram followers, 5 million Facebook likes, it doesn't matter much if you do not have a close circle of people who trust you, who look forward to hearing from you. And this is something that we have also discussed in the social media week, where building followers in social media is not going to be of any use. So do not think that personal branding is about getting more followers on social media. Be an inspiration that others want to follow you and do not brag. Inspire with your actions, not with what you say. Just do amazing things and talk about how you did it in a humble way. And that is something that I do. I work very hard in my business. My team works very hard and we talk about what we do. I go ahead and show how I build my funnel, how I build my business and all those things. But I hope it doesn't come across in a way that I'm bragging about it, right? I'm just saying that, hey, I just did this. These are the results I got. Maybe you should try the same. And you also have to remember that when you are building a personal brand, not everyone will like you. Some will love you and others will hate you. You have to stand for something and live with a large vision and mission. People will support it. And you have to be polarizing. And I definitely have a small percentage of people who do not like what I do. They do not even approve of the things I say. And sometimes they are like, no, no, Deepak is wrong. And that is something you have to be comfortable with when you are building a personal brand. A lot of people become very sensitive when people say negative things about them on social media. And a lot of girls come to me and ask me, Deepak, do you think it is safe for girls to go ahead and build a personal brand? Of course, it is absolutely safe. You are not going to put your home address anywhere on the internet. Even I don't do that. And as long as you do not get hurt for the negative comments that people put, then you will not have a problem. It's completely safe. And I also think that when people put negative comments on my personal brand or anyone else's personal brand for that matter, the comments are just for the image that you have created, right? When you get hurt, when other people say something negative, they are not coming and poking you with a needle. It is not affecting you physically. It is affecting you mentally. But you have to realize that it is not you that is getting affected. It is the brand image that you have created which is getting affected. For example, if somebody says negative about Digital Deepak, they are not impacting me directly. They are just impacting the image that I have created, the personal brand that I have created. They are probably damaging my ego. But I have to realize that it is my ego, it is their image, it is a personal brand that I have created. It's not me. And people end up getting hurt when they think that that ego is them, right? And this actually has a little bit of a spiritual angle to it. And if you are into a little bit of spirituality, meditation, every religion and every spiritual guru says the same thing, that you are just an image. Your personal brand is an image. The way that other people look at you is the image that you have created. And if that gets damaged, then it is not you that is getting damaged. It's just the image that you have created which is getting damaged. And that is when people try to go ahead and disown everything they have when they are trying to find spiritual enlightenment or something like that. People usually start disowning everything they have because everything they have gives an identity to them, and that identity becomes a stumbling block for them to reach their spiritual heights. So I'm not sure how far I am into spirituality. I'm not sure if even enlightenment is something that I can hope to achieve or how real it is. That is probably something that I might discover as I grow older and start researching more about this. But I'm definitely sure that the personal brand that you have is just an ego. And if your ego gets damaged, you don't get damaged and you don't need to worry about it or care about it. So that is my message in this slide, and I hope you can absorb it in. And maybe you want to pause this video and think about what I just said for a while. And there is also an article I wrote on my blog called I am not Digital Deepak. And I have explained why I am not Digital Deepak. So I am Digital Deepak for you, which is the image I have created. But the person who is me truly at home when I am alone is not Digital Deepak, right? So maybe you want to go ahead and read that article, and I will link to that article below this video as well. And I think that is one of the most in-depth personal branding related article that I have ever written. Now let's talk about creating the culture code for your community. So what is the culture code? You have to create a culture for your community and tribe as a leader. When you are an inspirational personal brand, your followers will try to imitate you. And you can look at the amount of people that have added digital in front of their name probably came because I started Digital Deepak. You have to set the culture for your community. If you are hardworking and down to earth, others will want to be the same. If you are rude and have a huge ego, then others will also have that. If you are helpful to others and hardworking, then others will also imitate that. You should also maintain a high status within your community. If there are other people in the community who do not follow the rules and they just want to use the community to promote themselves, you should reprimand such members, maybe kick them out. And that is something that I do religiously. If there is someone who is being disrespectful to other members, I go ahead and kick them out of the group because it's my group and I set the rules. When you have such a persona within your community, then people will look up to you, and many times people will appreciate the strength that you have because strength is inspirational. When more than 80% of the people look up to you, the rest will also do it because social proof is very contagious and people will just do what the majority does. Even if there are a few people who are not very approving of you, they will also convert into your fans because 80% of the people are your fans. Create a code of conduct and a rule book for the community so that you do not need to keep repeating the same advice again and again to your community. You can also put it on a drip marketing sequence. Now that you have gone through the deep marketing automation training module, you know how to communicate in an effective way in automation, right? You can probably put the rules for the community within a drip marketing sequence so that it keeps reminding people of what they can do and what they cannot do. You are the leader of your village and your tribe, and you set the rules. You have to be the alpha, you have to be the tribal leader. As long as you do that, slowly you can expand your following. You have to sow the seeds of culture in the group yourself, right? You have team members and other freelancers who can manage the community at a price, and they will also be your eyes and ears on what people are saying about you and the brand. For example, in the internship program, we have batches, and each and every batch is inside a community, and each and every community has a batch coordinator, and this batch coordinator tells me what is happening in the group. Are people happy? Are people getting results? So when you have team members and other freelancers who will manage the community for you, then your community is going to start growing, and that is how you can build your personal brand. People relate to each other when there is a common ground. For example, if people are from the same city, same language, same school, have the same story of struggle, then they will relate to each other very well. For example, if I say that my native is Mumbai, and if you are from Mumbai, then you will probably feel a better connection towards me. I'm not from Mumbai, I'm from Salem. I'm just giving you an example. So you have to find out that commonality between people. And you can also go ahead and try to create separate groups where they can interact with each other. And it could be like breakout rooms or subgroups within your community. You have to encourage people to share their life stories and let similar minded people connect within the subgroups. For example, in the digital marketing club that I have started, we are creating a community for every city so that people can connect with each other offline and have discussions related to their city in the subgroups. So this kind of makes people bond with each other, and your community is as good as the strength of the bond between the community members. And this in turn will help you because people would enjoy staying in that community and interacting with other people, and they would also go ahead and keep following you and keep listening to what you have to say. You also have to remember that everyone in a community wants status and attention. The real world has a status hierarchy, right? There is a financial status hierarchy, there is a political status hierarchy, and your community will also have that hierarchy. So there will be certain people who are like admins or moderators, and these admins or moderators will have like a higher status among the other members. You can give badges, you can show post counts, you can have different levels of members. And in the digital marketing club, we are having silver plan, gold plan, and platinum plan. And what will happen is that when they reply on the forum, the people who are in the gold plan will have a badge which says gold, and the silver members will be able to see that, oh, this is a gold member and he is a premium member. So that kind of gives a little bit of a status. You can show the total number of post count, number of upvotes received, and other credentials as well. So whatever it is, you have to think about it. And now let's talk about building the community on a platform. So where do you build that community? Now that I have talked so much about community, we also covered a lot about community in the social media week. And now let's talk about how are you going to build it. So I want you to remember that the principles matter more than the technology. Every platform is just a medium of communication. If you do the right things, then people will gather around you. It doesn't matter which platform that you are building it. Your email list will always be the primary way of keeping in touch with your community because email is something that people check every day. Even if there is an update inside the community, it has to be sent as an update on email, and people will come back to your community. And don't be overly dependent on Facebook groups, Twitter, and Instagram. And we had already discussed extensively on how these platforms will eventually reduce your reach. You can get people from these channels, but eventually get their email ID and get them onto your platform. And if you want to have your own discussion platform, you can use things like PHP BB, vBulletin, and other open source and paid community softwares available. There are plenty of them out there. And I'm also working on building my own forum software, which is like a custom software, which I'm creating for Digital Marketing Club. And eventually I will start licensing it out to other people as SaaS products as well. So just like the internship login that you have is now being built as a learning management system so that you can also conduct your own training with the cashback model and enroll users for your own internship program or a cashback training program. So similarly, I'm also going ahead and building a forum for my digital marketing club from scratch. It is in the works right now. And maybe by the time you are watching this video, it's already ready. And eventually in the long term, I will be licensing it out, and you can stay tuned for that. And use all the channels of communication. Use webinars, SMS, WhatsApp, Telegram, website messaging, push notifications, etc. And whatever you can do to reach your tribe, whatever channel of communication that your tribe uses, that is something that you can use to reach out to them. Now let's talk about building your character, which is going to be the foundation of your personal brand. So how do you build your character? And this particular section is going to be more of an internal change that you have to do for you personally, which will reflect outside, right? So whatever is inside is what will get projected outside. So we'll talk about building your character, and in the next section, we will talk about how you can build that perception to the outside world. How do you want people to see you is something that you have to have a clear decision on. You have to build your brand with clarity on how the world should perceive you, and you cannot leave it to chance, right? So I have a very deliberate intention on how I want the world to see Digital Deepak, and whatever I do is in alignment with that. So if today Digital Deepak is a big personal brand, it is because I have had a very clear intention, probably starting like 6-7 years back. I wrote it down on a big piece of paper, and I wrote down that this is how I want the world to see me. And you should also go ahead and write a manifesto like that. Have a clear and inspiring goal and vision. People are attracted to people with big dreams. Do not sell products, sell an outcome and a vision. Like, for example, Bill Gates said, I want a computer on every desk in every home running Microsoft software. And I think right now we have more than one computer in every home. Apple's motto is think different. So you have to be having a vision and a goal which is more than just trying to sell products and make money. And when you look at my own goal, you might have heard this in the launch webinar when you joined the program, that my vision is to create 1 million digital marketers in India and the world. And this is a larger than life vision, and people always want to be part of a vision like that. And as I said, I wanted to get a clear market positioning as the number one digital marketing trainer in India, and everything I do is taking me towards the goal. I want to create 1 million digital marketers in India, and I made Digital Deepak with that clear vision. And there is no such thing as just being yourself, right? All of us have multiple faces. There are faces that we don't even show to our parents or our spouse or our children. There is one face that we have which is held very closely internally in our mind when we are alone. Then we have a quote unquote personal brand for our immediate family. Then we have a brand for our friends. We have a brand for our co-workers. Then we have a brand for the larger audience. You can try to be as authentic as possible, but there are certain things which will always be, just for the world. And as I said, there is no such thing as just being yourself. You cannot just be yourself like you are at home to the outside world. People will probably not like you. Your ego is in a state of flux all the time, right? It is malleable. You can shape it as you want. So imagine that your ego is the statue that you are building and you can sculpt it the way you want, the way the world wants to see you. So it's a very thin line where there is a little bit of effect on who you actually are, and you will also change. But there is also going to be a clear vision that you are trying to build. You can never try to get it 100% accurate. The way you are at home and the way you are to the outside world, it will never be the same. But you will benefit when it is as close as possible. And you will end up changing to that version. And that version will try to come close to who you really are. So this is a lifelong journey. And I hope you are able to understand what I am exactly saying here. And maybe if you do not clearly understand, maybe go over this particular section of the video again. So what I'm saying is that you are building an ego and you are trying to project this ego into the outside world. And who you are truly inside you is somewhat different, but it doesn't mean that it has to be very different. You can actually become more like the ego that you are building as you try to build your ego. Like, for example, if I'm building an ego as a marketing expert, then I'm actually becoming a marketing expert in that process. If I am building my personal brand, my ego, my image as a punctual person, I might actually become a punctual person even if I am not, right? And this is where you create the 2.0 version of yourself. So the tool to shape your personal brand is communication with the tribe and the world. And the communication starts with your tribe, because your tribe is what will give you the right feedback. And that will expand to the outside world. You will not get that product market fit, or let's say the personal brand market fit, when you try to communicate to the outside world directly. And a lot of people who try to do that burn their fingers, because you will not understand what people want to hear from you. You will understand what people want to hear from you from your closest circle, and then you can basically expand that message into the outside world. And even when you look at the kind of articles that I have written, the kind of training programs I have done this with constant feedback from my close circle. Like, for example, this particular 16-week internship program training has been created in feedback with the initial batches of the program. So when I started the internship program, it had only 10 weeks. And I worked with the batch 1, batch 2, batch 3 people to go ahead and learn what are the things they need and what are the things they missed in the program, and what are the things I failed to communicate. I got the feedback, and basically I brainstormed it with them and went ahead and created the outline of the 16-week internship program. And now this is having like a much better reach. And now with the bigger community that I have, I also do brainstorming for each and every lesson. And before all these lessons were created, I actually interacted with the community and understood what they wanted and created the training program in such a way that it is benefiting the most amount of people out there. So when you keep doing this fine tuning with your community, that's when your communication will become like really perfect in such a way that it will not be noise. It'll be signal. When you put out the signal into the outside world, people will actually be receptive to it, because now you have got the understanding of what people actually want to learn, right? So without communication you cannot build a personal brand, and your communication with your tribe is what will fine tune that communication. So here are some books that I recommend for you to start having that larger purpose in life. You should definitely read the book Mastery, which I have recommended in the third week, where we talked about niche selection as well. You should read Start with Why, where Simon Sinek talks about how great leaders inspired everyone to take action. He also talks about the example of Apple, which is Think Different. And you should read this book called Ikigai, which is about finding your purpose in life and trying to match your passion, market need, and talent. So if you go ahead and try to understand all the concepts in this book and try to align your personal life in such a way that it is clearly purpose driven, then you will start attracting people around you very, very easily, because people are always attracted to people with a vision and people with a big dream. So let's continue building your character, and let's look at a few more concepts. So you have to be clear on what you stand for and what you stand against. And people connect with people better when there is a common thing that they hate. For example, I hate people who pollute the environment. And I'm pretty sure that you also hate people who pollute the environment. And this particular thing is going to give a better connection between you and me than finding something which we both love. So let's say you love popcorns and I also love popcorns. That is not going to be a very strong connection. However, if you hate certain kind of behavior and I also hate the certain kind of behavior, then it will probably bring in a different, stronger connection. And I also hate boring courses that do not have any action items and guidance, and you probably hate them also. That's why you are in the internship program. In fact, I read about a dating app, where the dating app asks you to create a profile, and in the profile you have to enter all the things you hate. And they found out that when people match with each other with the common things they hate, it actually led to better matches than writing about all the things that you love inside your dating profile. So I don't remember exactly what app was that, but maybe you can look it up. But it's an interesting observation that people connect better when they have something common to hate. And you have to have a clear superpower. For example, when you look at Russell Brunson, the founder of ClickFunnels, he always talks about funnels. When you talk about funnels, you can think about Russell Brunson. When you talk about deep marketing and marketing automation, you can think about Digital Deepak. And this is very deliberate. And this is a clear superpower, something that is unique that I have. And you also need to come up with something that is unique to you. You have to have a clear storyline that is consistent and people can remember you with it. For example, most of you know that and remember that I started out as a motorcycle blogger. Then I worked in different startup companies. Then I was doing consulting. Then I started my training business. Then I started my agency. Then I expanded my training business. Now I have an education startup. So this is my storyline. And I can talk about my entire story of 10 years in 10 minutes. So each and every minute I will cover a particular year of what I have done. And when you have a clear and consistent storyline that you are repeating the same thing again and again, then it becomes very easy for people to remember it. And everybody loves a story of how you have grown. And this is my story, as I said: blogger, employee, consultant, freelancer, trainer, agency, a tech startup. And I also have other parts to my personal brand. I'm a cryptocurrency evangelist, a book author, and I love to meet students offline and I talk about it, I post pictures of it, and that becomes my character. I also have insider term that is connected to my community. Each and every batch has an insider term, and all the interns have a general term called DD interns, right? So you need to try to come up with something that can define your community, right? And the community can wear it like a badge. It is not important. You can come up with it later also, but it definitely helps to have a stronger personal brand and a stronger community. And you should also remember that you should only teach what you have done, because Whether you are selling courses or not, if you are trying to build a personal brand, you have to create content, which means that on some level you are teaching people. But you have to teach only what you have done, not what you have learned. See, if I go ahead and try to learn digital marketing from various courses, create content, just replicate from other courses, then you are not going to have any respect for me. Whatever I create is from my personal experience, years of experience, more than a decade, in fact. And I only teach what I have learned, and I also talk about what I have done. So you have to show what you have done, and then you have to go ahead and try to convert people into your followers. And that is very important because you can only preach what you practice. If you go ahead and preach something that you do not practice, then people will know, and that will not be good for your personal brand. Your personal brand is forged with the hammer of communication. The better you communicate, the better your personal brand will be. So you have to really focus on communicating well with your tribe. You have to address each and every person directly, especially when you are writing emails. You have to write as if you are just talking to one person, and that is something that you might have noticed in my emails. I talk directly to you. You can use deep marketing and personalization, and people will pay more attention and connect to you if you have that kind of personalization in your marketing funnels. You have to be inspirational, and you have to share your success stories while not coming across as a person who is bragging. Use all the communication channels: social media, email, phone, SMS, live webinars, offline events, postal mails, phone calls, WhatsApp, Telegram, app notifications. And these are all the things that I can think of right now. But there might be more, in the future. And use all types of content formats as well. Use text, use video, use podcast, use live webinars, use chatbots to communicate with people, and automate things as much as possible. And you have to leverage merchandise. You can have t-shirts, pens, keychains, notebooks, workbooks, brochures, mementos, and so on. And you don't need to start with this right away, but once you build your personal brand to be a little bit bigger, you can start doing all this. And many brands use merchandise and gifts for branding. You can see Disney, Harley Davidson, Ferrari, Star Wars, ClickFunnels, YouTube. Everyone uses merchandise. And when people go ahead and have 1 lakh YouTube subscribers, YouTube sends a silver play button. And Disney has a lot of items. Harley Davidson has a lot of merchandise that people actually buy so much merchandise that a significant portion of Harley Davidson profits doesn't come from the sale of their motorcycles but from the merchandise they have. And they have such fan base around them. And I have also started building that merchandise in my brand. And this is something that you might have already received as an intern. This is the welcome kit that I sent to interns: a keychain, a pen, a notebook with the Digital Deepak logo. And this helps with the branding, right? Because such merchandise is actually like three-dimensional retargeting inside a physical space. You might be having it around, and there might be someone else who sees it. And because of that, the brand Digital Deepak becomes more familiar, and it can even expand. Like, people might take the Digital Deepak pen somewhere, they might leave it there, and other people will see who is Digital Deepak, and they might look it up. So in the long term, you can think about bringing merchandise as well into your branding strategy. So let's also talk about some more ideas in communicating to your tribe. You can inspire and motivate them consistently. I do weekly value webinar for my interns, and you might be already attending it. You can learn to build anticipation and get people excited for your content. There is something new that you have to keep coming up with. Like, for example, I come up with a contest, I come up with a workshop. There is always something new that I come up with, because if you give the same thing to people again and again, then they will get bored. So to make sure that you have enough ideas to come up with something new, you have to learn from other mentors. You have to learn from other people in the market as well. Have consistency in your content release. Every publication needs a consistent flow of content to its subscribers. You are a publication yourself, you are a personal brand. So if you are writing blog posts, and if you decide to write one blog post every week, have a consistent release schedule. Even if you go ahead and write more blog posts, do not publish it immediately, and release it every week consistently. Be a knowledge filter for your specific niche. For example, I did a course on scientific thinking, and then I talked about how we can apply the scientific method for decision making in your digital marketing business. So, whenever you go ahead and learn something from various sources, such as books, training seminars, or even if you go to an event, you can come back and give the knowledge which is specific to your niche, because nobody else is going to do that. When there is generic knowledge out there, nobody is going to talk it in a specific way. For example, I read the book Mastery, and in the third lesson where I talked about niche selection, I took the principles in the book Mastery and I kind of converted into something that is relevant for digital marketers. And that is something that you can do yourself. And give a direction to your community and audience. Help with their decision making. Sell one-to-one consulting sessions. Have a landing page for it and a high cost per hour. Perception is everything. When you look at a lot of car brands, these car brands will have sports cars. For example, when you look at BMW, BMW will have the M series, M5. BMW will have the i8, which is an electric sports car. But they don't make most of the profits from these high end cars. However, the brand image of BMW actually goes up because they have cars which cost 2 crores or 3 crores. And you are looking at it and you are having a positive perception about the brand as a very high performance brand. And most of us cannot afford a 2 crore car or a 3 crore car, and we end up buying something which is basic. But the perception of the brand is there. So imagine you come across a landing page where I am talking about consulting, and if you want to book a consulting call with me for 1 hour, it's going to cost you 10,000 rupees or 25,000 rupees. The perception that you have about me will change. Because if I am charging 25,000 rupees for a 1 hour consultancy, and if there are a lot of positive testimonials from brands, then you will take me seriously. You might not go ahead and do a 1 hour consultation with me for 25,000, but you might be much more likely to buy my book for 500 rupees or buy my training program for 5,000 rupees. So that is also something you can do, where you have certain products which give a very good brand perception about your personal brand. You have to give something of value from time to time, and it can be free ebooks, it can be free gifts, it can be free value webinars. You can also feature people in your tribe, and we discussed about how people need recognition and status within your tribe. If you feature people who are high performing or have got results within your tribe, you can celebrate them and you can give awards and recognize them. And this can be applied for any niche, not just the digital marketing niche. For example, I know a person who runs the largest parenting community in India, and she's doing it on Facebook, and she always features people within her community for the entire audience about what people think, what people found out. People like that attention, and I'm pretty sure that you would like to have attention from other members in the community within the internship group. So you also have to keep that in mind, and that is also a form of communication. So now we talked about how to build your character internally, and we talked about how you can have effective communication with your tribe. Now let's talk about building the perception for the outside world. How do you build that perception? How do you make people look up to you? And here I am going to go ahead and take some concepts which we have already talked about in week 12, which is how to build your perception and authority. When someone who is in a position of authority is saying something to us, we are influenced easily by them. When we do not know something well, we trust other people who know things better than us. The power of influence comes from authority. If other authorities can influence us, we can influence others as an authority ourselves. Like, for example, I consult CAs, doctors, lawyers, and finance experts for different things in life, and I do not question their authority because they are the experts in what they do. I am influenced by them. And when it comes to digital marketing, I know it better than all of them, and I will be the authority to tell them what is right and what is wrong when it comes to marketing online. For example, I go ahead and consult my CA on how she can go ahead and build her own digital marketing funnel to get clients. You have different indicators of authority. graduation from a particular university, certification, prizes, projects, recognition in the industry, published books, invitation to talk to certain platforms. These are not very important. The relationship you have with your tribe is way more important, but that doesn't mean that you should ignore all these things. So let's have a look at my authority indicators. I have an active email subscriber base of more than 500,000 people. I have done a TEDx talk which has almost a million views. I have published a book with 4.9 star rating. I speak at conferences with more than 1000 attendees. The size of my team, right? People take me seriously because I am a startup founder with more than 10 people working under me. If I am a single person, then people will not take me seriously. The amount of traffic that I get to my blog, which is almost a lakh a month. Backlinks, YouTube subscribers, Twitter followers also matters. Testimonials and feedback from customers. Having worked with Fortune 500 companies. Thought leadership articles that I write on my blog. And when I do webinar, I have 2000 to 3000 people attending my webinars. And when people see that, they take me very seriously. So building these perceptions is very important in your personal branding journey. And you can see that I have a book, 228 ratings on Amazon. I have this TEDx talk. My name has been listed on the Google Knowledge panel. So if you search for Deepak Kanagaraju on Google, you will immediately see about me, not just my page or my Google My Business listing, but Google will go ahead and tell you about me directly. That is also a form of authority. I have almost 1 lakh YouTube subscribers, and by the time you are watching this video, it will definitely be more than 1 lakh, and my Twitter followers as well. So these are not very important, but these are important when people come in contact with you for the first time. Once people attend your webinar, read your article, buy your book, then they are not going to look at all these numbers. They are only going to look at the value that you are adding to their lives. But even to make a decision that they should pay attention to you, these external indicators are very important. Social proof is also very important. I have almost a 5-star rating on my Google My Business page for my products. I have people who say that they love the Digital Deepak internship program. You can see the kind of love that I have got from people, and this is impossible to ignore, right? People are basically holding something which says I love DDIP. And this is something that I asked people to do. I said that if you like my program, then go ahead and do this and send a picture. And I also said that, for people who send a picture, I will also give a small gift. But even if I'm incentivizing it, people are not going to, put their face saying I love DDIP and tell it to the world that they love this program unless they really love that program, right? And when other people go ahead and look at the extent to which people have gone, then they trust my brand even more. Let's also go ahead and quickly talk about liking. And this is something that we have covered in the week 12 as well. You have to be a likable personal brand. Human beings are social animals. We want to be liked by each other, and we want to belong in a community or a tribe. The decision making of individuals is impacted by their belonging to a tribe. And when all things are equal, human beings like to do business with the people they like, admire, can relate to, and get inspired from. And that is definitely, one of the advantage of my personal brand, that, my approachability is high. People feel they can relate to me. And, I go ahead and communicate in such a way that, people end up liking me because I do not brag. I do not come across as a bratty person. And all these things are, sometimes kind of rooted in who you truly are. And someone who is not a nice person will not be a very likable brand. And no matter what training program he goes through, if he is not a nice person in real world, he cannot build a big brand. So that is where personal change is also very important. And when you are building a personal brand, you do not have a business. You are the business, at least in the beginning stages, right? You become the business. And as a personal brand, you do not need capital because you are the capital. See, my business is running without any external capital. And I'm able to do it because I feel that I am the capital. I am investing my time and energy in building things. And I don't need to spend money for it because I'm spending my time and energy on it. I am the capital. Your sales depends on you. And you need to be a charismatic, energetic, and friendly person to be able to sell. And you have to be down to earth. And being down to earth helps more than being fancy and unreachable. People should look up to you, but they shouldn't feel disconnected from you. And this is where doing some corporate social responsibility activities, kind of helps your brand image and the company's brand image. So this is a poll that I did on my Telegram group and got like almost 1,000 votes. 85% of the people feel that as a personal brand, I am approachable, humble, and friendly. And this is something that you can do within your own community and find out whether people are comfortable with you. This is also something I do, and I meet people in person. And even if it is a small group, it improves the brand image, right? When you see me, being around my followers and my tribe members, the image of me definitely changes in your mind. So this is something that you can also do. You can do offline events, you can do meetups, you can take photos with people and put it in your communication with the people who have never met you, because people who have never met you will also feel that you are like a down to earth personal brand when they see pictures like this. So now that we have talked about building your character, building your perception, how to communicate with your audience, let's get into selling. What are the selling techniques and the persuasion techniques that you can use now that you can communicate well with a strong community that you have built? Your personal brand will have a bigger effect on the conversion than the sales copy. Imagine if somebody else takes the same slide deck that I have for the sales page and the same sales page that I have created for my products and puts it on their page. Do you think that they will get a similar conversion ratio? Definitely not. When people come to my landing page and when people know that it is from Digital Deepak, they are already convinced to some extent. So your personal brand is going to be much more important than the sales copy that you write, the sales video that you make, and the content in the sales video. You need to earn the permission to sell by providing value first. People will be receptive to see what you have to offer only if you have earned that trust in the first place. For example, when I go ahead and upsell my digital marketing club program, my personal mentorship program, and the advanced internship programs that I have, I don't do it immediately after people join my internship program. I do it after a while where people have started gaining value from it. And usually people are receptive to something else that I have to sell because they have already got value from the product that they have got and they genuinely want to know what else I have to offer. And this is going to be the same case with you even if you are buying something else from the outside. If you have bought something and if you had an excellent experience, then you are going to look forward to other products from the same company. So you earn that permission to sell by providing value first to your community. And before you sell your very first product, you can go ahead and build that value within your community so that your community is kind of receptive to the sales pitch that you have. You have to remember that you might destroy the personal brand that you have built if you promote too much. People will get bored and resistant to what you have to sell. Sell only the products that you use yourself. And you need to have a balance. A balance of probably 80-20 is going to be great. If you have 4 pieces of content, then one of those content pieces can be a sales pitch. And you can see that I do a lot of value webinars, I provide a lot of valuable content, and I definitely never go beyond 20% in terms of communication, which is going to be a sales pitch. So if I want to sell you something, it is going to be only after I have given 4 times value, then it will be 1 time sale. 4 times value, 1 time sale. 80-20 rule. You can also wrap up the sales pitch in your content. And you might have observed that I mention about advanced internship programs and digital marketing club in my internship program training videos, which is a product in itself. So when you wrap the sales pitch subtly in your content, then that is also a good way to sell. And always have something new for the audience. You cannot keep repeating the same content again and again, else people will lose interest. And that is where reading and learning becomes very important. I invest at least 1 hour and up to 3 hours per day in learning something new from books, training programs, events, talking with people, life experience. And I keep doing that because without that, you will not have new content to share with your audience. And that is one of the reasons I am able to do a weekly value webinar and bring some fresh content into the webinar each and every week. You can also curate content for your audience. They would want to learn only from you. Like, for example, if I want to give a summary of a book, I can give it to my audience, and my audience is going to be much more receptive to what I have to say than go ahead and learn about the same book directly from the book or from some other personal brand. So, it is not necessary that you have to create the content yourself all the time. You can refer to other content and say that this is what you have learned from this book, this is what you have learned from this training program. And that is also an excellent way to create content and sell and get the attention of your audience. So now let's talk about some of the content ideas that you can use to share with your tribe and eventually to the world. You can keep learning from books, videos, podcasts, seminars, and life experiences, as I just mentioned. And if you find something inspiring, share it with the audience on your blog and social media channels. Survey your audience and publish a research report. People always want to know poll results. Such content is unique and only you can do it, and in fact, others will link to you. And I have done something like this. I have created a report called The State of the Digital Marketing Talent in India. And I sent out a mail to my email list, started getting a lot of responses. And with these responses, I went ahead and created a report and I published it on my blog. And other people started going ahead and copying it and they republished it. They linked back to me, and that was a good way to spread my personal brand. I will probably do more of that. You can interview other experts in your niche. It creates free content for you. You get a new friend, you have a good discussion with that person. They also get some branding because of your following, and you also get some branding because of their following, and they will also go ahead and promote the interview in their social media channels. And you will end up learning something new from the experience as well. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you can observe that I go ahead and do these expert interviews from time to time where I talk to other people. Branding by association also improves your branding, right? If the person that I am interviewing is actually a very good personal brand, then his followers will actually put me on the same level as him. And that is branding by association. You can create list posts for your audience. Top 10, top 100 posts usually get a lot of traction, and it also ranks well in the search engines. Recently, I created a blog post called The Top 100 Digital Marketing Agencies in India. And it is actually getting a lot of search traffic because it is ranking very well. You can attend industry events and give an update to your audience about it. You can take a selfie video from an industry event that you are attending and post it on YouTube, and your audience will follow that. You can create an automated newsletter, and that is a deep marketing sequence and engage subscribers. And I'm sure that you have gone through week 11 and you know what deep marketing means. And just to refresh your memory, this is the deep marketing blueprint. You are basically creating a drip marketing sequence, but you are also collecting more data from your users, and you are going ahead and trying to segment your audience and give different messages to different segments of your audience so that they feel that the communication is very personalized. So let's have a look at some more content ideas. You can create contests for content creation. For example, I did something called ownership review contests on my bike advice blog long back in my motorcycle blog, and I gave away prizes for people who contributed the best motorcycle ownership reviews. So instead of going ahead and creating content myself, I asked people to write about their motorcycles and their experience with the motorcycles that they own. And people went ahead and wrote 2000, 3000 word articles, sent me like 10, 20 pictures with each article. And this became a very, very valuable piece of content. In fact, you can go ahead and Google about it. Just search for bike advice ownership review contest. And you will see that I have conducted almost 15 contests over a period of 2 years. And in every contest, I would give the first prize, it would be a helmet, the second prize would be a jacket, and the consolation prize would be something like a toy bike and scale model of different bikes such as BMW, Triumph, and things like that. So when you go ahead and encourage your community to create content, then it becomes user generated content. Even when you have a community, the community is also user generated content. So the internship program has also some user generated content inbuilt, right? Like, for example, I ask you to go ahead and write about your version 2.0 on social media. And I also ask you to write an article about what you learned in week 2, anywhere on your blog or one of the social platforms. And that kind of creates a lot of user generated content for me. If you want to promote affiliate products, you can be an evangelist for the products that you use and recommend, and you can do webinars for it as well. And this is something that you might have observed. I go ahead and write a review of a product that I recommend. I do a webinar where I explain how to use the product, and people buy through my affiliate link. You can also do AMA sessions, which is Ask Me Anything sessions. Questions will trigger content creation. You will find very simple and basic questions that you never thought were common among your audience. For example, when I do Q&A webinars and AMA sessions, I find out that there are certain basic questions that keep getting repeated. Like for example, people have a confusion on whether I should use WordPress for my blog or can I use some other platform. And if I see such a particular question being repeated again and again, then I can go ahead and create a video on it or a blog post on it, and that will become a content asset for me, which I can share with my tribe even in the future. Share the content with your audience via all the channels. Social media can have high frequency, and on email, you can basically send a collection of discussions or posts on social media on the email newsletter. You can have all the webinar recordings on the YouTube channel, and that is something I do. Whenever I do a live webinar with my audience, I also put the recording on YouTube, so they also become content assets. So these are all the different content ideas that you can come up with to share it with your tribe and keep your community engaged. And that is how you build a strong personal brand. And there is one more thing that I want to talk about before we get into the applications of your personal brand. You have to be an alpha in your niche. And what does it mean to be an alpha? See, becoming an alpha is a mindset. It's not based on your external circumstances. If you are needy for a sale, people will know it. If you find a salesperson knocking your door, and if you see that the salesperson is very needy, that he really needs that sale, you will actually feel turned off, right? You might have experienced MBA graduates or people who are doing MBA come to your home and try to sell an encyclopedia, and nobody buys encyclopedia. And by the time you started getting people trying to sell you encyclopedia, there were already computers and internet at your home. And when you looked at the salesperson who feels very needy and he needs the sale more than you need the product, then you don't feel like buying it. So that is what being an alpha means, that you should not need the customers more than the customers need your products and services. And that comes from a lot of hard work by adding a lot of value. You need to talk from a position of abundance, abundance of knowledge and power. Your customers should need you more than you need them, but that doesn't mean that you are arrogant or disrespectful. You should have so much value provided to people, and the product should speak for itself. The product should be so great that you don't need to sell hard to convince people. You just need to mention it and people will buy it. An alpha personal brand and an alpha product will always be in demand. For example, I would say that iPhone is an alpha product. When there is a new iPhone that is being launched, you would see that people are basically queuing up outside an Apple store to get the latest iPhone as fast as possible. And that boosts Apple's brand image even more. Apple and Apple products have an alpha status in the market. And that is what a lot of other brands are struggling to achieve. And that is how you should approach your personal brand. My internship program is always sold out. I have a limited amount of people for each and every batch, and it gets sold out. And then people mail me, can I still join? And I say that no, you cannot join. You join the next batch. And this is what being oversubscribed means. So this is something that you have to do. If you have a community, you need to have a limit on it. If you are saying that you are closing the sale, close the sale and do not open the program again. Have some scarcity and make sure that the balance is in your favor. Make sure that the power shifts towards you, where other people need you more than you need them. And this is true in relationships as well. In the beginning stages of the relationship, if you are in a needy position, then the other person will actually find you unattractive. But if you are in a position where the other person wants you more than you want them, then you are basically being in the alpha position. This might not be true in the long term of the relationship, because in the long term, every relationship becomes a friendship, and that's how good relationships have to be. But at least during the initial phases where there is a measurement, an attraction, and validation, and people are thinking through whether I should choose this person as a life partner, being in the alpha position helps a lot. So now let's talk about the applications of personal branding in different sections. And I talk about personal branding as a very, very important thing because it helps you not just get a job, it helps you in so many other areas as well. So let's look at them one by one, starting with getting a job. So if you are a young professional and if you are trying to get a job, then your personal branding is going to help you a lot in it. So we usually hear about the quote that you should not judge a book by its cover. But most of the people judge a book by its cover. Recruiters have a hard time figuring out how to prioritize the candidates they have. So if a company has an opening for, let's say, a digital marketing manager and they get 50 resumes, it's very difficult to select one from that 50. It is very difficult to even select five to ask them to come for an interview. A blog, a decent number of social followers, a few videos on YouTube can instantly set you apart from other candidates competing for the same position. And this is why you should start building your personal brand in your niche as early as possible. When I started out trying to get jobs in the digital marketing field in various startups in Bangalore, my blog helped me a lot. And in 2014, 2015, my blog did not have much traffic. But just because I had a few well thought out articles on my blog and I had some kind of online presence, my resume actually stood out because I was able to show people what I have done rather than tell them what I know. If you want to work at a company, write a few blog posts related to that industry and mail the CEO directly using the lead generation methods described in week 7. And I told you how to, get the email ID of the CEO directly using certain tools. You can probably use those tools and write a blog post and just send out a mail. Just say that, hey, I think this will be useful for you. And you can kind of build your personal brand just for certain people. Even if the amount of followers that you have is not much in the initial stages, you will have some level of branding with just the people you are trying to convince. If you reach out to 10-15 CEOs, you are sure to get at least 2 to 3 responses back, and from there you can take it forward. You can also write something on the blog that can directly help the company. You need to become familiar with multiple people in the company to get through, as there are multiple decision makers in your hiring process. For example, when I applied for Razorpay, Razorpay was a small startup with just 20 people, and there were multiple decision makers inside the company. The head of products wanted to interview me, the person taking care of operations wanted to interview me, the head of sales wanted to interview me, the CEO and the co-founder wanted to interview me. So you see that there are multiple people inside the organization. And when you have something remarkable like a blog or a personal brand, this gets talked about within the company. And even if there is one person that you have convinced that you are worth it, like the person who is interviewing you, it can be the co-founder or the head of sales or someone, it will be difficult for this person to convince the other people in the organization about your credentials because they are probably not going to have the same amount of patience that the primary interviewer had with you. And it is going to be easy for the primary interviewer to go ahead and convince other people about your validity and your expertise if you have a personal brand, if you have a blog, if you have some articles. And imagine if you have a book, it's going to be even better. I know it takes time to go ahead and write a book. I'm also planning to start a book publishing internship program sometime in the future to help people become published authors. But if you take the effort to write a book, your career will change instantly. You can send a signed copy of a book to the companies that you want to work for. Imagine the amount of effect you will have if you walk into an interview with a book in your hand and you can give the book to the person who is interviewing you, and imagine the amount of authority you will have compared to the other candidates, because I am pretty sure that whatever job you are applying for, even if it is not a digital marketing job, this particular book that you have in your hand is going to make you stand apart from the crowd, and nobody else is going to have a published book in their hand. And mostly the person who is interviewing you is also not a published author, so even he will look up to you. You can negotiate a better price, you can negotiate a better salary, you can negotiate better bonuses if you just have a book in your hand. It becomes like such a strong personal branding tool. Now let's talk about personal branding for affiliate marketing. How are you going to leverage your personal brand for affiliate marketing? Trying to sell something just by driving traffic to a page is very difficult, and we already discussed about this. The conversions will be low, and you will spend more time and money on traffic generation. You do not need 10,000 visitors to a landing page. You just need 100 people in your tribe who attend your live webinars, who take your communication seriously, and they will trust your recommendations completely. See, I make money with affiliate marketing just by inviting people for a webinar, explaining how the product works. I give the affiliate link. I also tell people that this is an affiliate link. And I just show the demo of the product, and I end up making 50,000 to 1 lakh in every webinar that I do just by showing a product. When you promote affiliate products in your niche, you will get an understanding of what people want to buy and what they don't. And this is very important because when you are trying to go from a personal brand to a freelancer, and eventually if you want to build your own startup, affiliate marketing kind of helps you understand what people buy. And if you understand that people are more likely to buy certain products, then you will actually get an idea that you can also build the same products. In fact, when I started my entire journey, the lead generation was actually funded by another digital marketing training company who used to pay me for every lead that I generated for them. And I used that money, I put it back into lead generation, I put it back into paid advertising, I built my email list. And that is how my entire journey started. So I did not create my own product. I actually promoted someone else's training product. But since I was able to see how many people were actually buying these things, and I was making good money from affiliate income from these companies, which was not much, I decided that if I get into this particular market with my own products, I will be able to have a much bigger chunk of the commissions for myself, because I am my own affiliate, I am the seller. So this is something that will help you a lot, and that is why I recommend people not to choose between jobs, freelancing, consulting, affiliate marketing, and building their own startup and training. Because in any niche at all this can be combined and it can become multiple streams of revenue. Like for example, let's say you are into the design niche. Let's say you are into the user experience niche. You can start a blog about user experience. You can write a book about user experience. You can have a training program on it. You can promote other products as an affiliate in that niche. You can go ahead and build your own UI UX startup if you want. And if you look at area like fitness, you can do all the things, right? You can consult people on fitness like one-on-one. You can build a training program. You can blog about it. You can promote other products as an affiliate. And maybe one day you can eventually start your own fitness brand and have your own products. So this can apply in any niche, and all this kind of comes together. And now let's talk about personal branding for digital freelancing. If you are trying to become a freelancer, personal branding is very important, right? In your digital marketing niche, if your clients would want to know the results that you have achieved. So if you are in this niche, then it becomes very easy to prove that you know digital marketing by showing your personal brand. How can you convince a client that you can drive traffic to their website if you have not driven traffic to your own website? So this is one of the best ways to go ahead and get clients, is to have a personal brand. And even if you are in some other niche, then to get freelancing clients, your blog is going to be helpful. The best way to show them the results is to show your own blog first, the traffic that you have driven and the community you have built around your personal brand. And even if you are not in the digital marketing niche, personal branding can help. For example, if you are a designer, you can write about the latest design trends on your blog, and you can definitely impress your client with it. A client that wants to hire you will choose you over other people because you will have more authority. And when you send out cold emails with name@yourdomain.com, they will check out your website URL. So imagine that I am sending out cold emails from mail@digitaldeepak.com, and when people are looking at the mail that they have got, they will observe that it is from at digitaldeepak.com. They will go ahead and visit digitaldeepak.com and look at what is there, and then I will build authority based on that. So you will also be able to attract more replies to the cold emails that you send if you are sending it from a domain name, and if that particular website URL has your personal brand credentials in it. You can have your blog, you can have testimonials, client testimonials, and things like that. And most people will judge you based on your personal portfolio website. And this is something that I have observed as a trend. Client conversions happen because you have a good personal portfolio website. And I'm also planning to launch a theme called the Digital Freelancer theme, which is going to be a theme that my interns and my students can use to build their personal brand website. And your personal blog will also be the best place to write about client case studies. You can also convert it into a PDF. But if you want to show potential clients the results that you have achieved for your previous clients, how are you going to show it? You cannot talk about it all the time. You can just go ahead and write a blog post case study on it. And now let's talk about personal branding for digital mentoring. If you want to do online training, you cannot attract students without a personal brand. And I think it's very obvious. This is a training program that you are in, and I'm pretty sure that it is my personal brand which attracted you to learn from me. Students will take you seriously if you have built a serious personal brand. In the natural course of your personal branding, you will have a tribe that wants to learn from you anyway. Even if you are not selling courses, you are creating value in terms of content to build your personal brand, and you will have a ready set of people who are ready to buy your products. So selling to your tribe and earning more revenue is going to be very straightforward and very easy. In fact, when I came up with my first course, I decided to launch Google Ads Mastery course because in my tribe, people told that that is the thing that they want to learn the most and they want to get certified in it. So initially I had the blog, then I had the email list, then I had the Facebook group. And inside the Facebook group, I went ahead and ran a poll. And in the poll, I asked people whether they want to learn Facebook ads or SEO or marketing automation or Google ads. Most of the people said Google ads. I went ahead and created that product, and the sale happened even without a sales page. The first 250 sales I got and the first 2.5 lakh revenue that I made came from without any sales, just because of my personal brand and the tribe. So if you have a tribe and if you are building a personal brand, I definitely recommend you to create your own information product or a training product, because it will be an extra source of revenue for you. And in the process of creating a training program for your students, you will also master the subject even more. And in the process of creating the 16-week internship program, I have learned so much. And a lot of flowcharts I created because I wanted to transfer what is in my mind to you. And I asked my designer to create those flowcharts and infographics. And because I created those flowcharts and infographics, I actually have a better understanding of the digital marketing concepts I am teaching you. So teaching is one of the best way to learn, and I recommend that you teach, and I recommend that you create your own course, whatever niche that you are in. Even if you create a very simple course and even if you just get 100 sales, it is still going to be some extra revenue, and it will also increase your perception among your audience. And maybe in the future, after a few years, you can release the same course for free as a lead magnet, and that also becomes a great way to start growing your personal brand. So digital mentoring helps you become an expert in your topic, as we just discussed. And you can mentor other people and earn revenue from the courses and training programs. And you can reinvest the money into growing your tribe. That is the most important thing. So I have been in jobs, consulting, freelancing, and now I run a startup. And digital mentoring has helped me with everything. Mentors should be doing something in real life, because you can only preach what you practice. And this is also one of the important things that you have to note. If you want to become a digital mentor and if you want to train people, you cannot do it as a full-time thing. Because see, I'm running an agency, I'm running a startup, I am doing consulting. And because of this, I have my knives very sharp. I know what is happening in the industry. And I can take the industry knowledge directly and teach you. So I am teaching you only what I am doing in real life. Like for example, if you are a yoga teacher, you cannot teach yoga without doing yoga yourself, right? If you are teaching guitar, you cannot teach how to play guitar without being a guitar player yourself. Which means that most of the time you should be playing guitar, or most of the time you should be, practicing yoga. And in my case, most of the time I am doing digital marketing. I'm not just training digital marketing. This is a recorded video that you are watching right now, and probably by the time you are watching this video, I am doing something with my personal brand or my ads, or something related to digital marketing. So this is where I feel a lot of people go wrong. Like for example, a lot of courses, a lot of even university degrees, they have faculty, and it is a full-time faculty. The faculty does not have a real world experience. They are just reading from books and reiterating it. And that is why there is a huge disconnect when it comes to university degrees and actual, market needs in terms of skills. Because there are full-time faculties, and then there are people full-time doing, what they do best, but they are not teaching. So my recommendation is that no matter what you do in life, you have to teach what you do, because teaching will make you better at what you do, because teaching is the best way to learn. And at the same time, you are giving back to the community, you are giving back to the world by teaching them what you know best, because there are other people who are not even doing what you are doing and they are teaching it in a very bad way, which is actually a disservice to the society. So digital mentoring is something that I recommend to be done on the side and not as a primary work, which gets me back to the original point that I was trying to tell you, where you need to be doing all the things at the same time. You might not be at a job all the time, but you still have to do consulting so that you can understand what's happening in the market, which is something that I do regularly. You have to go ahead and train people, and you can do freelancing if you are an individual, or you can have an agency and take projects, and you can do a startup in your particular niche. When you do all these things together along with the community building, that is when your personal brand will grow really big. And now let's talk about personal branding for growing your startup. This is the mature stage of personal branding. Your initial customers for your products will come from your tribe and community. And it is extremely easy to sell to your tribe and community even without having a clear sales pitch, because you have added so much value to your tribe that if you just mention that you have this product, people will come and buy, and they will give you feedback on the product that you have created. So taking feedback for your product or service is easier when you have a personal brand and a community around it. Because imagine if you are just selling it from a logo, the logo is not going to go and talk to the people. And even if you go ahead and send out a mail asking for their feedback, they are not going to take you seriously, because people need to feel like they are giving feedback to a real person, not just to a logo or a brand. So I'm right now building a SaaS company. SaaS means software as a service. And I'm building an LMS, learning management system, under community software. And I do not need to hunt for initial beta users, right? I can get them from my community instantly. People who have learned from me would be open to trying my product or service and give me feedback on it, and I can improve it and try to get a better product market fit with it. So my personal brand has helped me get a job, consulting clients, get students for my training program, and it helps me promote my affiliate products, and eventually it is also helping me grow my startup. And this is something that I have discussed before. I have something called the Mass Trust Blueprint. And this Mass Trust Blueprint is a blueprint which takes you through the evolution right from being a learner to an employee to a consultant to a mentor and eventually a startup owner. Your freelancing, affiliate marketing, and digital mentoring activities each has a potential to become a startup of its own if you scale the services with a team. And that is when we will eventually start seeing unlimited amounts of wealth coming into our door, because now we are using leverage to provide more value to more people with the same kind of effort that you are putting in right now. And today we have more than 12 people working in my startup. It is because of my personal brand. My personal brand eventually gave rise to building this company. And that is what your personal branding journey can help you in the future. So this is a blueprint that I have developed for people who want to grow their personal brand. So you basically start with learning, and then you work. You work as an employee or as a freelancer. You write about the experiences of your work on your blog, and as you learn more things, you write about it. It also gives you clarity. And once you have a blog, and once you started having some visitors and a tribe around your blog, you can start consulting people. And once you start consulting people, then you can eventually convert it into a training program, and you can become a mentor, and you can eventually build your own startup. But it is not a start and finish cycle. It is something that will go on and on. Like, for example, even when I am running a startup right now, I'm still learning a lot. I'm still doing work. I'm still blogging about it. I'm still consulting. I'm still training. And it comes back to my startup. So you can kind of go around this cycle over and over again to strengthen your personal brand. And that is how a very strong personal brand is built. And such a personal brand will become your biggest asset in the future. Let's also talk about the evolution of content for personal branding. This is how you can start with the content creation process. You basically have thoughts, inspiration, and ideas based on your life experience, the books that you are reading, and the content you are consuming. And then you can convert it into conversations and debate. You can interact with your community about what you learned. You can link to other sources, and you can strike off a conversation. And then you can evolve it into notes and tweets. You can take notes, you can tweet about it, which is microblogging. And then you can take all this and make it into blog posts. You can take the blog post, make it into in-depth videos. You can eventually write a book with all the content that you have created. And then with the videos, blog posts, and books you have, you can create courses. And on top of the courses, you can create the mastermind. And if you create the content structure in this way, then your personal brand will have a very, very strong root, and you will be able to scale your personal brand to heights which you never imagined possible. So that brings us to the end of this particular training module, which is personal branding mastery. And I hope you learned a lot in this particular training module. And I hope this particular training module has given you a lot of ideas on what you can start doing. I would like to tell you one final thing which you have to really remember. If you start your personal branding journey, the results are not going to come tomorrow. If you write a blog post, nobody is probably going to read it tomorrow. But slowly it will compound. It's going to be very slow, but it will take roots and become very, very strong. It took me almost 8 years for me to take Digital Deepak to the level it is now. But I have been consistent at it, and I have enjoyed the process. So it is very important to enjoy the process of building your personal brand, creating a content piece, and then interacting with your tribe. And as long as you enjoy it, it will not feel like work. And as long as you choose a niche where you are really passionate about and have a lot of interest in, it's going to be a lifelong process. And you can start building your personal brand now and see where it is in 5 years time, see where it is in 10 years time, see where it is in 20 years time, and see where it is in 30 years time. In fact, I have a 30-year plan for my personal brand. I am 33 right now as of creating this video, and I will probably keep doing this even when I am 63, or why not? I can do it even when I am 73, or if possible even when I am at 83, right? So I will keep doing this personal branding for the next 50 years. And imagine if my personal brand has grown so much in the past 8 years, what will happen if I keep doing it for the next 50 years? I hope that one day I will become world famous. But whether that happens or not, I enjoy the process and I will keep doing what I am doing. And that is the same mindset that I want you to have. Build a tribe, build a community, start adding value, start creating content assets, create blog posts, videos, books, courses, do mastermind webinars, whatever topic you are in. And if you spend enough time learning from other sources and enough time doing things, you will develop some level of expertise in your niche, which no other people have. So you can definitely build a personal brand, and people will end up loving who you are, and you will probably enjoy life more, because who doesn't love all the attention that a personal brand gets? So, that being said, let's get into the next action steps. Whatever you have learned until now is only potential energy. It is not going to be useful for you just having that knowledge. You have to take action and you have to do things, because without doing things, you are not creating any momentum. So, I will also be having a separate assignment explanation video where I will explain how to do the assignment along with the assignment. But even before that, let's just have a look at the outline of what are all the things that you need to be doing after watching this particular training module. You have to write down a clear vision and mission statement for yourself, and it has to be well thought out. You have to choose your niche clearly based on your passion and market and talent. And I hope you have already done choosing your niche. You can also think about changing your niche if you feel like there will be some other niche which is more suited for you. And if you have not chosen any niche until now, you can go ahead and choose it. You can create a community and give a name for that community. You can create a professional journey timeline and build your story just like I have my story. You can plan to write a book for personal branding and you can create an outline for it. You have to invest in good photography, and investing doesn't mean that you have to spend money on a professional photographer. You can just spend some time and energy and try to get help from your friends and family to get really good professional photos. You can do offline events and take photos of it. You talking in front of people is a huge authority indicator. You can do an expert interview and create content out of it. You can reach out to an expert and do a text interview or a video interview with them. You can create an outline for a course for your community. And even if you do not plan to create a course immediately, at least create an outline, because once you create an outline, you will feel more confident that you can create the course. You can even share the outline with your community and ask them whether they want the course. And if you see that if enough people want it, then you can go ahead with it. Create a culture code for your community, because once you create a culture code, then your community is more likely to follow it. Create a generic proposal for consulting and freelancing. It is basically like a business resume, and I will show you some examples of that in the assignment explanation video. So that brings us to the end of the bonus week 1, which is personal branding mastery. I hope you liked this training module, and I look forward to seeing you in the next training session. Bye bye.